Disclaimer! Crossing the Line is not a show intended to bully or harass anyone. Do not go out of your way to find or mess with the authors featured on our podcast. They make what we do possible, and we love them. And you. Thanks. Enjoy.
Nice spin.
Should have enough charge to read a story.
You ever play Spin the Bottle?
I would say yes, but then you'll ask me when and where, and I'll say I have no idea. I'm just going to say no.
Steven?
I guess not, no.
Me neither.
I could say yes, but much like Elias, I wouldn't have a situation to really describe.
I can't really remember, but I think I have.
I would say my Spin the Bottle memories come from one episode of Ed and Eddie and one episode of Ned's Declassified. That's about it.
What if I told you yes and I just started explaining the episode of Ned's Declassified?
I'd know. I'd call you out. I'd say that. I've seen that episode. Coconut Boy's wearing the leather jacket trying to be a cool kid. Coconut Head. Coconut Fred's Fruit Salad Island.
Coconut Head's Fruit Salad.
I feel like every kid's show in the last, or that we watched growing up had some sort of episode where they were having a party where their parents left and they played Spin the Bottle.
Yeah.
You know?
They wanted to teach kids how to be horny.
Yeah, and then they had to kiss someone in the class, and it was either someone who was really gross or their crush, and they were really nervous either way.
Or they spent 7 minutes in heaven, and the whole time they had to not admit they were crushing on the person they're in the closet with.
Yeah.
Just be awkward in there, yeah.
And then you remember the Ed and Eddie one where Jimmy it lands on Jimmy and he says, "Dare me, suck," and Kevin dares him to skip his turn. And then he laughs.
Wow, what a good joke.
That's comedy 101, baby.
What if I write a fan fiction, but I just started describing the episode of another story of some TV show and just replaced the characters with my OCs?
Who are your OCs?
Virgil.
Rouge the Gnat, and Daggy.
Daggy? I like Daggy. Give me a story.
He's a tall, skinny guy with corduroy pants and a green shirt. He has a dog named Booby, and they eat
Does his dog
food.
have titties?
And they eat dog food.
They both eat dog food.
I just realized you were doing a parody of Shaggy. The name Daggy's just really funny to me. I'm sorry.
He has corduroys and a green shirt.
I realized it after he said that.
Okay.
I didn't know just from the name Daggy.
That's how the writers get you.
And Rouge the Gnat.
Rouge the Gnat, I knew.
Rouge the Bat, but 1 centimeter tall.
Shit, I can get with it.
Imagine trying to write a plot where a character can do nothing.
The character's 1 centimeter tall.
The character cannot exist. You only know it's there because of exposition.
That's what Charming Bee used to be before they made him 3 feet tall.
Charming Bee used to be an actual bee size.
He used to be super small in Knuckles Chaotix, but then he's a foot shorter than everyone else in the Chaotix.
That's for the best.
Yeah.
So, I suppose that's as good an intro as any, because this is the beginning of Season 3, and therefore we're just doing whatever. In the beginning of last season, we did our second Dragon Ball episode, if I remember correctly. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
So this season we thought, let's not do that, because we're going to try to clear the audio a little bit better on this and put it up on a streaming service, something like that. Of course, it'll be better to eventually get all of this on streaming services, but, I want to get this...
We're working on it. Get off our backs.
Yeah, we tried building with a different website, but it wasn't very friendly for uploading audio files for whatever reason, so now...
But now you're a computer website designing god.
I have built several professional websites since then, so hopefully I've learned.
You mastered C+ in the span of a day.
Yes, it's true. I can write entire websites in C++ in spans of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's impressive as hell.
Yeah, I just throw the keyboard against the wall until it breaks and then go buy a new one from Walmart and come back and the website's done.
I would love that if you buy a C++ textbook and then after reading all of it, that's just the gist of what you do to learn it.
It just says go to neocities.com and create your own website.
Go to neocities.com and then open a Yahoo Answers page and copy somebody's URL from their website.
The back of the title page is just a fucking ad for Squarespace.
You think Squarespace will sponsor us so then we can make a website on Squarespace?
That'd be cool. We could make a website on Squarespace and then get a sponsor and then they'll have to pay the hosting fees anymore.
There we go.
That would be sublime.
Indeed.
So, in the spirit of random episodes, what is a favorite memory you have of a piece of media? Let's make it recent. What's a good piece of media you've experienced recently? I mean, don't make it too topical because this is going to be online forever.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
recommend something.
Let's see, you guys go first. I know this will take me a little bit.
I know you just said not to do topical, but I'm going to do topical anyway because I just watched Keep Your Hands Off Izoken the other night. As we're recording this, episode 1 just came out a few days ago. I didn't know a thing about it until I saw the intro on Twitter. But it is a very fun, lighthearted anime with amazingly well-drawn backgrounds and fun characters. It's all about girls that want to make an anime together, and that's it. It's good.
Sounds like fun. I recently saw some YouTubers' top anime lists of 2010s, the last decade, blah blah blah. And I saw Ping Pong on one of them, and I just want to say Ping Pong is a great anime.
It's Keep Your Hands Off Izoken is, I think it's the same director or
Whoa,
something.
interesting.
Producer? One of those ones.
Well, I would recommend that. Stephen, what's an anime you would recommend since we're apparently doing that now?
That's made by that guy.
Yeah, it's made by,
I'd have to see a list because I don't know. I'm not super familiar with like different directors in the anime industry.
Just say Sonic X.
What's a piece of animation you would recommend looking up in general?
Let's see here.
Sonic Underground.
No. I generally vouch for a lot of Sonic Media, but I can no longer vouch for Sonic Underground.
Did you watch the Sonic Baby episode?
I did not see that episode, but I owned a DVD for quite a while, and then I got around to watching it, and I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about my reaction, was just wow, and I never put it in again.
You said, wow, they have chili dogs in the future?
I was like, wow, they somehow made an animation where Sonic does the spin ball from a standing T-pose position, where he just shrinks and then the spin ball comes out of him.
That is very strange.
It's very strange indeed. If you're on Netflix, I'd recommend Claws and the new Green Eggs and Ham. I don't know how they fucking did it, but they made Green Eggs and Ham a really good, like, 10 or 12 episode series.
I also watched Claws with a K. The entire movie looks like concept art.
It is.
It's very whimsical and, like, pointed, but also really colorful and fun.
Yeah, you can literally just take every frame from it and basically make the art from Claw's art book. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. So don't be afraid to check out new Christmas movies. I know we've got the classics on the books, but you could always check out Claws or look up a low-quality rip of the Big Time Rush Christmas special on Kiss Cartoon.
That's a tradition.
As we often do.
I recently watched the episode of Super Mario Brothers Super Show where Elvira showed up after Mario cursed his own brother. By mistake, of course. He would never do that to Luigi.
I think we're getting off the rails here.
But it's a good episode. Luigi's making his mama's pasta sauce, and he's asking Mario to read the recipe book, but he's like, I'm watching Elvira over here. And then he says, all right, and he looks at the wrong book, so he starts reading off all these horrible things, and he goes, wait a minute, that's not Mama's recipe book, that's the Book of Curses. It's just sitting on his coffee table. Well, I don't know, I'll call Elvira, she'll know what to do. And then she shows up with her beautiful chest out, and she does a lot of funny jokes.
I also finally got around this year to watching all 3 Grinch movies that have ever been released: the Chuck Jones, the Jim Carrey, and the Illumination that came out last year. The only one I had not seen yet was the Illumination movie, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I liked the ending a lot. It was very relatable, and I kind of like what they did with the Grinch in the movie, how he's just kind of a shut-in introvert, and like that's what a modern curmudgeon really is, so that's the best thing they could have done if they weren't going to go by the book with him. But There's also a scene where he immediately decides that he's gonna fucking rob everyone on Christmas, and he's like, it cuts to him in like a pink yoga outfit, and he's like doing a downward dog, and he looks between his legs at Max, and he's like, genius starts with the abs, Max. And because he like goes for a Jim Carrey accent real quick, and because my TV's volume was like down, I thought he said, genius starts with the ass, Max. Thought this Illumination picture had made an ass joke for no fucking reason.
Well, the live action one had the Grinch say bitchin'. That was pretty cool.
True.
Jim Carrey screamed bitchin' at a little girl's face.
While they were going down a mountain.
They said, keep that, that's funny. I just started crying.
We talked about shows, now let's talk about some books or comics or the like that you read recently that you like and would like to spread to the masses.
Well, I was gifted a lot of manga for Christmas. I liked it all. I'm a really big fan of black and white art in manga, but I also just started reading I Am a Hero because I was reading Jagan by the same artist, or one of the same artists. And I Am a Hero, the first volume is on every Barnes & Noble shelf in the country, and I've always looked at it and been like, that looks whatever, it's fine. But it's a very wacky slice of life. The first volume actually has nothing to do with zombies, it's just like about the guy's life, and it's a lot of fun and weird, and it's like about this workaholic shut in, and he's like experiencing a bunch of wacky stuff in like his life, and it's just nice. And like you can just read the first volume and it's like a standalone story. So if you see that first volume at Barnes & Noble, it's worth reading. I would recommend picking it up. You don't have to buy any more after that. Alright, that's all.
You good?
What, you don't know?
Yeah.
You don't read books?
I still have to think about this one.
I loaned you a couple books. Where are they?
Oh, they're at the house.
Right. I recently read My Lesbian Relationship with Loneliness by Nagata Kabi. It is a very relatable, very interesting life story about a mangaka in Japan. There's not really much to say plot-wise because that's kind of the point of the book. It's just her life story, really. So it has a lot of relatable issues you could go into. So pretty much anybody who picks it up will in some way relate to this poor girl as she lives out her life. It's very good though. I'm currently reading the sequel.
I didn't read a lot of that, but I heard very good things from a lot of people, so I would also recommend it just based on other people's recommendations.
I very recently joined the gym, and they give you a little goodie bag, and it's a pamphlet where they explain how it's a judgment-free zone in painstaking detail. And then it's funny because they also kind of focus in on how they're going to make you look better, quote unquote. And it's funny because the entire concept of looking better is completely based on judgment, and they're trying to base themselves as the judgment-free zone.
I would also recommend Planet Fitness and seeing how quickly you can set off the lunk alarm.
I was going to say, does the pamphlet include how not to set off the lunk alarm so we can set off the lunk alarm in as many different ways as possible?
There's a lunk alarm? What's that?
Look up the Planet Fitness lunk alarm. It's as funny as it sounds, I guarantee you.
Oh, good lord.
If you scream real loud and carry in a gallon of milk, I'm sure you'll do the trick.
It's like a judgment-free zone, but there's an alarm that goes off if you lift your weights too hard. And it's like this giant comical flashing red light.
A lunk is defined on a poster as one who grunts, drops weights, or judges.
I like how you Google that, and it's from Google it just says, what is a lunk alarm?
Right.
What is a lunk alarm, Alex?
Everybody walks into the Planet Fitness and sees the giant red light not on, and they're like, oh god, what's that? And they look it up on Google.
Whenever someone grunts too loudly or drops a heavy weight on the floor.
I want to see an episode of Jeopardy where one of the topics is gym stuff, and he has to say that, and they have to say, what is a lunk alarm, Alex?
I want to see some person freaking rip their muscles open and drop the weights and start crying, and the lunk alarm goes off, and they all berate him.
He's just like holding his arms tightly on the ground as this loud sirens piercing his ears. While the Planet Fitness employees are pointing at him.
Lunk, lunk, lunk.
Lunk. Wrong.
Bad, weak.
They throw him in the sauna and lock the door for a few hours.
They throw him in the Planet Fitness gulag.
Can the staff just not berate you for dropping your weights? Do they have to have a fucking alarm to make you feel bad for grunting?
You have to learn your lesson.
They absolutely
It's a
do.
judgment-free zone.
That's so funny.
Everybody needs to pay attention when you're being escorted out.
When that alarm goes off, everyone's immediately judging you! That's a... What the fuck?
It is true, they are actively looking for somebody to judge.
Jesus Christ.
That's guaranteed.
It narrows you out!
Not unless you also look around. Then no one will know it's you.
So, huh? Me?
my God.
Surrounded by broken weights on the floor, spilt milk all over your area.
A bent.
I just always think back to that $1 million
Extreme world peace.
sketch. Yeah, where he's like in the gym with just like being as lunk as you can, and that's not even a term they use. He's just annoyingly loud and just drinking a gallon of milk. And he's just like throwing the weights all around. Like, you know, the one that has like the rope that pulls up the stuff when you do the
Right.
He's just like throwing those, so the weights like clang up at the top and then smash back down at the bottom, and he keeps doing that.
Oh my God.
He's like
it's so
monologuing.
funny.
He's like monologuing over it. It's called World Peace Guys Gym, and he's like, I dream of a gym, guys only. And he starts like smashing away. It's like, I drink a gallon of milk a day.
And he's Sam Hyde, so he has this massive, like 6'4" body, this huge frame. He's just throwing stuff around.
Starts
in
like
these short
throwing
shorts.
up, and he keeps going.
Yeah, it's like
gallon.
throwing up blood and milk
my
over in the
God.
corner. He's like looking at himself in the mirror.
He's like one hand firmly pressed against the mirror, like heaving.
Oh my Lord.
That's another one. Go check out $1 Million Extreme World Peace. It only got 6 episodes before Adult Swim canned it.
Don't worry, it deserved to get canceled, but it's very funny.
It's true. The sketches are incredibly hit or miss, but when they hit, they hit.
A gallon of milk per day. That's so much fat.
Unfortunately, that's a real thing that people do.
Oh my God.
But anyways, let's read some stories.
Good oak, who wants to go first?
Whoever can open their app the quickest.
Alright, I'm there.
I
Go
also
first.
got incredibly into tokusatsu shows this past year. It's been making my life better.
Those are
They are the live-action superhero shows in Japan.
there you go.
Alright.
Super Sentai and Kamen Rider.
What's the best one?
From what I've seen, well, Akiba Ranger by far, but that one's like a parody series. I don't know if I'd call it consider that in the technicality of it all. But from what I've seen, they're good. I like Dai Ranger a lot. Gosei Sentai Dai Ranger. I'm only a few episodes into Kamen Rider 4s, but that one's very good. It's written by the man behind Gurren Lagann and Promare and a bunch of other stuff. And it's got a very good sense of heart and humor behind it. They have like a dumb like American style school, even though it's all Japanese setting, so they have like a football team and cheerleaders and stuff. It's really funny.
Jocks that are not built like jocks at all.
It's a good show. It's got a lot of fun to it. I can't wait to dig into more.
One day, Scooby-Doo and the gang went to Maryland to visit the Boondocks and meet Riley Boondock and that other kid, the one with
His
the
name
afro.
is not Riley Boondock.
I think his name is Stewie.
You can't just jump into a story while I'm reminiscing about Riley Freeman, aka Riley Boondock.
They just go there to visit them and nothing else.
The other kid. The other kid, the one with the afro, I think his name is Stewie. Granddad and Uncle Ruckus were also there. Uncle Ruckus looked at Fred as if he were staring into the face of God himself.
Oh my lord, that's the most beautiful white man I ever done seen.
Ruckus said,
That's true.
I just gotta suck that man's toes.
He dived
Oh,
at
that's
Fred's
not
feet,
true.
tore his shoes and socks off, and began devouring Fred's toes like they were corn dogs.
Tell me, Ruckus, you're making a goddamn fool of yourself,
Said Granddad angrily.
You're embarrassing us in front of our esteemed guests.
The Scooby-Doo guest hasn't even moved. They're just standing in the doorway.
They're just standing in like a PNG that you see when you Google Scooby-Doo.
Ruckus pulled Fred's toes out of his mouth and looked up in disdain. The white man's going to get what the white man deserves. Then he went back to sucking Fred's toes raw and red.
How quickly did he move to get his shoes and socks off?
Yeah, true. This is so weird, Fred laughed, wiggling his toes around in Ruckus's mouth. Ruckus firmly grasped Fred's ankle with both hands and forced the big toe deeper down his throat. Riley stepped forward and said, "Hey man, I love your show. I watch it on TV all the time. When Shaggy and Scooby eat food, it kills me, man. It really kills me. I do got one question for you, though." Riley looked up at Fred with childlike innocence. "How come there are no black people on your show?"
Oh no!
Fred immediately began to sweat bullets and tug at his collar.
I was literally gonna say he grabs his collar and goes, "Oh," but the writer knows me too well.
Talk closer to the mic, please.
No. Okay.
Well, you see, thankfully Fred was saved from answering by the sudden appearance of the ghost.
Oh, this can't be good.
"Oh, leave this place," the ghost moaned, waving its arms around in the air. "Rikes, roast," cried Scooby, jumping into Shaggy's arms. Suddenly there was a crack and a puff of smoke, and just as suddenly as it had appeared, the ghost was gone. "Like, gee, Granddad, that ghost was really scary, yo," said Riley, crying and screwing his fists into his eyes.
It better not be the kind of ghost I'm thinking of.
Me too.
Yeah, we are in the Boondocks universe.
Oh,
This
God.
can't be good.
Granddad picked up the bawling infant and cradled him in his arms.
Infant?
Riley's legitimately crying in disdain right now.
He is small.
He
Then-
still goes to school.
Then he addressed the Mystery Incorporated Clubhouse gang. "Gang, please catch this ghost that's been haunting Maryland for generations," he pleaded brokenly. "It's terrorizing my children." "Granddad, there are no such thing as ghosts," said Stewie Boondocks, adjusting his afro.
Stewie.
"There must be a logical explanation for all of this." Granddad slapped him on the back of the neck. "Shut up! The grown-ups are talking!" "Well, gang," began Fred, that familiar twinkle in his eye, "it looks like we have another mystery on our hands. Let's
With
split
one shoe on.
Let's split up and look for clues." He lifted his leg and shook Ruckus off. "Daphne and I will check out this closet. Velma, you and Granddad investigate the Arboretum.
Arboretum?
Arboretum. I don't know what it means, but regardless, that with Riley and Stewie. Shaggy, Scooby, Ruckus, I want you three to go check out the dungeon.
In Granddad's house?
The basement. The dungeon, I said. The dungeon, Granddad.
Shaggy and Scooby folded their arms. "Like, no way, man!" ejaculated Shaggy forcefully. "We're not your personal bitches. If you think we're going down to some creepy sex dungeon with that toe sucker, you're out of your gourd!"
This is the third episode in a row we've had Shaggy in it.
True.
He's the new nostalgia critic.
He's great. Forget it. Fred went cross-eyed and pulled a grenade out of his pants. He wrapped a finger around the ring. "Oh, what's that? You want me to pull the pin and kill all of us right now?" Shaggy gulped. "Like, just kidding, Fred. Whatever you say, sir."
That's a grenade.
Fred returned the grenade to his pants. "That's what I thought," he smirked. "Okay, gang, let's split up." Fred put a do not disturb sign on the closet door and then stepped inside with Daphne. Shaggy, Scooby, and Ruckus crossed the drawbridge to the dungeon and stepped inside.
There's
Is it outside or what?
There's a warping Granddad's house.
As soon as they crossed the threshold, the portcullis, whatever that is, the portcullis fell with a clang and trapped them inside. Ruckus turned and pulled on the bars. "Guess there's no going back now," he said. Shaggy and Scooby gulped. The dungeon was filled with all kinds of spooky torture instruments, and there were dead bodies everywhere. Suddenly, Scooby's tail shot up like an exclamation point, and he began pointing excitedly at a clue in the corner. Shaggy knelt down and picked up the clue. Wow, good job, Scoob, Shaggy said, patting him on the head. This clue should help us catch that ghost. They looked around some more and found a giant stone slab blocking the exit. There was a machine next to the door that was meant to raise the slab, but the engine's drive belt was missing. Uncle Ruckus shook his head. An engine without a drive belt is like a field hand without an overseer. It just won't work.
That's awful.
That is terrible.
Is this like a side quest in Night of 100 Frights with Uncle Ruckus?
I can vividly see that.
I wonder what we could use as a drive belt, Shaggy said. I know, we can use Scooby's colon. Scooby, let's borrow your colon. Scooby placed his paws over his back. It's mine. Would you let us borrow your colon for a Scooby snack? How about 2 Scooby snacks?
Shaggy doesn't dish out the Scooby snacks.
Yeah, he doesn't know. They'd be gone if he had them. Shaggy tossed 2 snacks in the air and Scooby jumped for them happily. They pulled out Scooby's colon and cut it off with a pair of scissors and attached it to the door-opening machine. I hope this works, prayed Shaggy, crossing his fingers. They turned on the machine and the slab in the doorway slowly began to rise. Everyone cheered, but suddenly, something happened. It was the ghost.
I would like to assume they really meant collar, but they're making a joke. But for those new viewers, we read these stories verbatim, so...
Nah, it's spelled the same way throughout the same way.
Yeah, I just don't like thinking about that.
Me too.
I'm cutting out Scooby's colon with scissors.
For 2 Scooby snacks. I like how they get in there and they immediately have to leave. So much so they have to cut out Scooby's organs to get out.
I just imagine
And bribe him into it.
They went in there for a reason. They didn't even look around. They just got in there and turned around and said, "Oh, we gotta go."
they found the clue.
Yeah, they found the ghost and they solved the minigame puzzle.
I suppose it did work, but
That's a pretty big margin for error.
yeah.
Oh, give me that clue. Leave this place, the ghost moaned, waving its arms in the air. Zoinks! The ghost! Shaggy threw out his arms and ran in place. Let's make like chickens and fly the coop. Don't forget your colon, Scoob. Right, I do, cried Scooby, creating his colon in his arms.
His arms.
Cheap Trick reach out started playing as the ghost chased them through a hallway, and they ran through all the doors and came out all the other doors. Then they hid in suits of armor, but Uncle Ruckus' gigantic ass was too big and spilled out of the sides of the armor, so they had to run again. Give me that clue. Leave this place, moaned the ghost, pursuing them inexorably.
What clue did they have?
I didn't say, really.
Yeah, I thought the clue was them finding the ghost.
Right. They passed through a revolving bookcase and ended up in the library. Up ahead, Velma, Granddad, and Riley and Stewie were investigating some spooky books. I gain way, shouted Shaggy. He and Ruckus ran past him and threw them to the ground. Scooby tried to follow, but he tripped over a child and landed in a heap on the floor. Suddenly a shadow fell over them. It was the ghost. Give me that clue. Leave this place, it moaned. It looked like the end for old Scobbs, but then the closet opened and Fred flew out and quickly beat the ghost into submission. Fred was biding his time.
Yeah, you thought he was doing something bad in that closet. He was just waiting to spring his trap.
He just slaps the door open on the ghost so hard it falls over and he starts beating the shit out of it.
He slaps the ghost in the back of the head and elbow drops him.
Oh my god.
Runs across the ring and does a 5-knuckle shuffle.
Now let's see who's really behind this little caper, said Velma. She lifted the ghost's hood. It was Uncle Ruckus, the gang of Boondocks cried in unison. And I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling Boondocks and that damn mutt, Ruckus snarled. "Ruff, ruff," asked Scooby, looking comically over his shoulder. Shaggy scratched his head dumbly.
Like, there's just one thing I don't get. How could Ruckus be the ghost when he was with us the whole time?
I think I can explain that one, said Stewie Boondocks. Ruckus used mirrors so he could appear in two places at the same time.
What was his goal?
He pointed at a mirror on the wall. What you thought was a ghost was actually Uncle Ruckus's reflection, see? Granddad observed his reflection in the mirror and rubbed his chin. Well, I be damned. Stewie folded his arms and smirked. Logical explanation. Riley pointed shakily over Stewie's head. Yo, Mr. Logic, what's your explanation for that? Stewie whirled around and saw a flying colon. I don't want to read the rest of this.
Steve,
The end.
What do you mean?
It was a bad joke about being the ghost. Ooh, leave this place, it moaned, bobbing up and down in the air. Everybody was really scared, but then Fred spotted something behind the curtains. He pulled them aside and revealed Scooby-Doo. He was standing on a stool and manipulating a fishing pole attached to his colon.
We know it's his.
Okay, they saved it. Scooby, everyone scolded, shaking their fingers. The end.
That was very funny. I'm glad you read the rest of it.
I'm glad they called Huey Freeman Stewie Boondocks.
All because he didn't remember his name at the time of writing.
Everyone well, that's not true. We read that one I think it was the last episode. 2 episodes ago, where Fred was the roommate in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, Fred is this like stoic god character, and he's very funny. But that one he was a little more loose.
This was just vanilla Fred, except for when he beat Uncle Ruckus into submission.
Yeah. He launched himself
After
in
getting
the
his toes
closet.
sucked.
He didn't even flinch when he got his toes sucked, but as soon as he became a ghost,
Nah,
he just free.
He just kept his classic Cyber Chase smirk on the whole time,
He's unfazable.
where he has those big real eyes.
I give that 2 fingers holding a pin in Fred's personal grenade.
I give that 4 toes out of 5.
Oh, you guys took the good numbers. I give that 1 mirror, but 2 images.
2 ruckuses.
2 ruckuses out of 1 ruckus.
2 illusions out of 1 illusion. That was cool. I'm glad we saw Shaggy 3 separate times. I've already got mine pulled up, so I can just jump right into this.
Go for it.
Right. And again, for those at home, we do usually pick like topics to try to go around stuff, but this time we didn't, so it was just a big free-for-all of whatever, so there's nothing tying anything to anything this time around. So, here we go. After a yawn. Robin, the leader of the Teen Titans in Jump City, was up early. Really early, before sunrise. He was video calling a member of the new team in Australia, a humanoid bandicoot fox hybrid named Christian. They had been talking for about an hour now. So, Christian, when do I get to meet the rest of your team? Hold on, can you give me a sample of your Robin voice so I can mimic it into my own?
Hey, Christian.
Thank you. So, Christian, when do I get to meet the rest of your team? Well, maybe in about a month after we get a few things finished around here. Just bring your team over and we'll show you around, Christian said with a smile. They can go to space. It's no big deal to go to Australia.
True.
On Christian's end, a red light and a loud alarm began blaring.
Oh, jeez, we just moved in.
Gotta cut this short, Robin. See you in a month, Christian said quickly, then the video call ended. Christian turned to see his team had gathered in the room as the crime scene on the computer came on. Some villains dressed in black were causing a major riot down by the prison, meaning they were trying to break someone out. All right, Titans, let's go, Christian yelled as they all headed down an elevator that took them down to the garage with a few vehicles. One team member hopped on a motorcycle, one decided to just fly, and the others hopped in a large armored car. About half an hour later. Christian and his team were in pursuit of the villains, who were trying to lose them in the jungle. 2 of the villains had been caught and handed over to the police, but 3 more were trying as hard as they could to avoid capture. One of the heroes, Crystal, and her twin brother, Connor, had gotten ahead and cornered the villains near a cliff. "Just give up," Crystal growled. Her hands were covered in blazing flames. One of the villains grinned behind the mask he was wearing. That's gotta be hard to tell.
Yeah.
How about no?
One of the villains grinned, but you couldn't see it.
but you don't know. A large amount of water was dumped on the twins from the top of the cliff. Crystal was drenched and blacked out.
Oh my god.
When did he pour an ocean on her? Did he waterboard her to submission?
He poured water on her for 6 consecutive minutes until she drowned.
They were driving in a car and somehow poured water on top of her from the top of a cliff. When she woke up, Connor was gone. Crystal coughed up a bit of water as she forced herself up, then heard the rest of her team rush to her. She staggered a bit, but was held up by another team member named Tex.
Tex?
"Where's Connor?" asked the youngest member, Celeste. Crystal shook her head. I don't know." After coughing up some more water, Crystal was taken back to the tower so she could rest. She slipped unconscious for a week, but when she came to...
A week?
She had a newer, burning hatred for the villains and vowed to find her brother.
Sounds like she's
no matter
freaking
the
amnesic
cost.
and dead.
Yeah, she just got splashed with water.
She passed out for a day, she gets splashed again, passes out for a week.
Jesus Christ.
I would wake up and feel like shit and not want to do anything.
Right.
Okay, this is chapter 2.
Steven, do you know who these characters are yet?
I don't know.
Alright. Well,
No, I'm pretty sure they're all OCs.
I was about to say I don't recognize any of them.
1 month later.
Elias, what do you know that I don't?
when I heard Crystal, I thought of Star Fox, but I don't think that she would have a nasally voice, and George usually does the accents accurately.
I was thinking that too, but I didn't recognize any of the other characters for context.
Yeah.
Now, where did you say we were going again? Asked Beast Boy while looking out at the ocean as the team's jet soared through the sky. Insanity Islands. A few islands recently discovered off the western coast of Australia. They were only thought to exist in games, but it turns out they actually exist, Robin replied. We should actually be there shortly. I can see the new team's tower.
Thought to exist only in games. How cool would that be if you were a video game developer and you made a thing that became real life?
That would be interesting.
Where you were the only people that knew of its existence.
And everyone said, that's only from video games. And you said, no, I swear it's real. You did do the Cortex voice, so I guess that could have been something.
Right on cue, a tall, bronze-colored T-shaped tower came into view. A big Teen Titans tower in Crash Bandicoot Island is very funny.
Yeah.
It was surrounded by a football field-sized patch of flattened land on each side that was bordered by jungle. They did a lot of deforestation to put their big funny T in Australia. A metal platform began to rise out of the ground. A blinking light signified that it was a landing strip. Raven, who had been reading most of the flight, closed her book as she and the team left her jet. This better not end up like when we went to Tokyo. Don't worry, you're not chasing a mysterious villain this time, said a new voice. The landing pad went back underground and the team found themselves in a room filled with different machines and vehicles. Standing at a far wall was a hybrid of Bandicoot and a fox with spiked reddish hair, green eyes, and dressed in a red hoodie, jeans, shorts, and red Converse. Welcome to the Insanity Island branch of the Teen Titans, the stranger said, walking over to the team. I'm Christian, but the villains around here know me as the Whirlwind. I don't think he's a stranger then, if he was introduced.
I really thought you were going to say Crash.
If only.
Every time you use the name Christian, I keep getting so worried that it's gonna go really downhill.
Why, what's wrong with Christians?
Nothing's wrong with Christians, it's just I associate someone very negative with the name Christian.
Christian then led the Titans into the elevator. Most of the rest of my team is upstairs. They'll be thrilled to meet you. Once the elevator doors opened, Christian led Robin and his team into a large living room that looked like you could fit an elementary school inside. Holy shit. Their living room is the size of a school.
How do you even recognize that as a living room? Is there one couch in the middle of the football field? See that over there? It's one guy sitting on the couch. Hey guys. That's the couch.
That
Oh
would
my
imply
God.
this one room is bigger than all the deforested football field-sized land around the giant T.
Holy shit.
Damn.
With one couch.
And one small team.
And one, 18-inch CRT.
We couldn't afford the HD TV. This giant freaking T building.
We spent all our money on deforestation. Part of the room was sectioned off and filled with game consoles connected to their own TV. Then there was a separate room at the farthest end that had the door shut. In the center of the main part of the room was a huge couch that could fit 12 people and a large screen for a wall.
12 people?
12.
You remember how big the living room was, right?
Holy shit.
Our suspicions have been confirmed.
Just imagining how the Teen Titans have their couch that's perfectly fit for 5, but stretched out 2.5 times.
Oh my god.
So it's just this long, 20-foot long couch.
I wanna read that fan fiction where they went to IKEA and did their plan for that.
Imagine Christian the hybrid having to carry this long couch into their living room.
Imagine the Christian the hybrid having to build a 20-person IKEA couch alone.
I like to think it was alone. I like to think it was pre-built and he had to carry it across this football field-sized deforestation world.
I like to imagine he had to do what I did and just had to carry every fucking couch in his car.
It's one couch. He had to get a bigger spaceship so we could fit it in there.
He carries all the stuff in. It's right next to the front door. And then the girl he has a crush on walks in. And he's like, I think it would look better over there. And she points to the 50-foot away part of the room. And he's like, okay. Starts carrying all the pieces.
Robin drags the damn thing on his Robin bike for 30 miles.
All 12 of them are there. And then they're like, hey, how long do you think it'll take you to build this? We'll go get lunch.
Just imagine a couch that's literally from the wall to your wall of your apartment.
Jesus Christ.
And that Christian had to pick up on his shoulders and drag across.
Help his power is strength.
Not even a
And
vehicle.
patience.
His powers being a hybrid bandicoot fox.
Wow.
Anyone in here? Christian called out as he led the more popular group towards the couch. Another hybrid creature popped up from one end of the couch. The bandicoot part of this hybrid was more obvious, but she had bat-like ears and a bat's nose. Her long blonde hair was up in a ponytail. Her greenish eyes sparkled with curiosity at the newcomers in the room. She closed her laptop and stood. One could see she was wearing a purple t-shirt and jeans and purple ballet flats. Christian introduced her. This is my younger cousin Celeste, the youngest of the team.
Youngest and smartest, and I'm also called Screech, but that's just because I'm part bat
Yeah, is that why?
and nothing else. Ah!
Yeah, so call me Screech. I was on Saved by the Bell. It was really fun.
And now I'm a bat.
And also a woman, and also here in Australia.
They call me Screech because I have to screech to talk to anybody in this giant living room.
They call-
Screech has been through so much since the fucking 80s.
It's
Jesus
true,
Christ.
Screech became a hybrid and got waterboarded in wide open space and blacked out for a week.
Screech is immortal.
You can't just say that. Just because you made a YouTube poop of him one time.
Forgot about that. I don't even remember what it's called anymore.
Don't worry, we'll find it. Put it in the description. It's very funny. Celeste vaulted over the couch and smiled, flashing her fangs as she extended a hand out to Starfire, who was looking at the girl with the same curiosity as the two shook hands. Cyborg then looked at the two hybrids. How are you two related? Christian just shrugged casually.
Yeah.
Her mom is my dad's younger sister. Then they have an older brother that has 3 kids. Two are our age and on the team, while the youngest is only 5.
A classic example of self-projecting in fanfic.
Right.
Hyper-specific nonsense that doesn't matter at all.
It's about your family. Celeste pointed over to the game end of the room.
Speaking of the team, 2 more members are over there. No relation. They're the only ones not related to any of our team.
Christian then looked to where Celeste was pointing and led the team over in that direction. Playing a fighting game was 2 male bandicoots. Both had deep crimson-colored fur. One had brown eyes and no visible hair other than the fur messed up between his ears, and he had a gray hoodie that obviously had the sleeves cut off, dark jeans that had holes in the knees, and a black combat boots. Shit, that's Grunge Bandicoot.
Okay, cool. Grunge Bandicoot, but
No, wait, he doesn't wear a jean jacket, a gray hoodie.
I take it they mean he had no hair, but he still has fur.
Yeah.
Okay, he's
He
not
had
just
fur,
a
but
bald
he
bandicoot.
he doesn't have anime hair like the other characters, despite being bandicoots.
Good lord.
The one sitting next to him had green eyes and short brown hair, and was wearing a red plaid button-up flannel shirt, faded jeans, dark brown cowboy boots, and had a cowboy hat on his lap.
Proper Australian bandicoot.
He's gaming with his hat in his lap. Christian went over and unplugged the TV, getting the attention of the 2 team members. Guys, pay attention!
Wait, imagine how long that extension cord is.
Oh my god.
No, he just had to walk really far to get to the to then. When the room is so large, there's no possible way they could have heard them walk in and give their backstories.
Pay attention.
Once the 2 were looking at the team leader, Christian introduced them.
Once the 2 are really mad and looking at him.
Right.
Once the 2 are pissed off at their lack of gaming. Once Christian broke their game systems by unplugging them.
Once the 2 are 10 hours into the 11-hour Final Fantasy XI boss fight, Christian unplugged the TV and looked at him.
Christian rapidly pressed the power button on and off and said, "Guys, pay attention."
Guys.
Wally, Tex, they're the Titans from Jump City.
The emo one's name is Wally.
Sure. Unless you think Wally's the one that wears the cowboy boots.
That's pretty funny too. And I can see, I mean, Tex could also sound cool, but it just sounds cowboy to me.
Yeah, like Texas. They're the Titans from Jump City. Guys, these 2 are our gunslingers and living shield. Wally, known as Shield, is the bulletproof one in gray.
Bulletproof?
How do you think they figured that out?
Whoa. I tried to shoot Wally and it didn't work.
I threw a football at Wally really hard and it didn't do anything.
It only bruised him a little. He must be bulletproof.
I like to think that every time they have to introduce Wally to someone new, they have to hand them a fucking rifle and say, "Try it."
Just try it.
He's like,
Just try shooting him. He loves it.
I'm bulletproof, but it still hurts, guys.
It doesn't kill me, but it still leaves wounds.
It's like Blackbeard from One Piece. He feels it, but it just doesn't fucking kill him.
That's right, my power is you hurt me really good. Tex, who doesn't go by anything else, is the one dressed like a cowboy. I guess Tex is the gunslinger.
Guess no one knows Tex's full name and doesn't ask.
Tex refuses to tell them his full name. He doesn't trust them. Wally simply gave a nod, while Tex stood and gave a slight wave as he put his hat on. "Why aren't you 2 in the training room?" Christian asked the 2, shooting them a glare.
Because they're shooting them.
Shooting Wally for fun.
Oh my god.
Testing to see if Wally's powers still work.
Tex, give me your gun. I need to show these guys something.
They love this.
Wally's like, no. You can't keep doing this.
As he rubs the 3 round bruises on his chest.
Why do you always want to show them my power when you have new guests over?
I wouldn't even call it a power.
It's a curse.
You just keep shooting me. The two bandicoots tensed at the question. Wally pulled his hood up and plugged the TV back up while Tex sighed. Tex began to reply, well, Crystal's in there and... Never mind, Christian interrupted, then turned to Robin and his team as Tex and Wally went back to their game. You all might want to stay behind me while we go to the training room. Crystal can be a bit aggressive when she's in the training mood. He then led the Jump City group to the room on the far side of the main room. They're just walking back and forth in this huge room. It takes all day.
It's like clack, 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 all the way.
The closer they got to the door, the more clearly they could hear the heavy metal music playing inside. No sooner than the door opened, a flaming object was sent flying their way. The object was going so fast that the flames went out. Cyborg stepped forward and caught the object, which turned out to be a very large punching bag before it could crash into the ground. Christian sighed as the final member of his team walked over. Everyone, this is my other cousin, Crystal. Crystal walked over. She was a bandicoot with burgundy-colored fur, ice-blue eyes, blood-red hair in an undercut style, and she was wearing a black halter top, black shorts, black knee-high socks, a black choker, Steven, write this down, black athletic shoes, and she was missing part of her right arm from the elbow down.
Oh, I love this.
She's an amputee. How are we just now finding out about this?
All their fur is just red. Stop calling different colors of dark red.
It's burgundy.
It's burgundy. It's crimson. It's dark red. What's the difference?
Upsettingly enough, that reminded me of a joke from Penguins of Madagascar, if you can believe that.
Oh my god.
Where they're trying to, stop a bomb from going off, and Kowalski's giving, I think, Private, tips over the phone how to stop it, and, all the buttons are a different shade of red, and he keeps telling him how to hit which one in different order. It's so funny. It's because there's, sirens going off and fire around him.
I follow the key animator of the Penguins movie on Twitter, or that, Penguins Madagascar movie on Twitter. The animation for that movie is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, for some reason they went all out on Penguins of Madagascar.
They were their token characters, and they choose to make them actually cool instead of just making them minions again.
It's true.
Yeah.
I remember I watched the show a lot on Nickelodeon because there was nothing else on. I didn't have any problems with it.
I will not vouch equally for the show, but I don't have any problems with it either.
Yeah, I don't remember anything bad from it really.
Remember All Hail King Julian?
I do remember some bad things from that.
I have not
They had
seen it.
They had that diaper thing.
Yeah, they had the Twitter fetishist on the King Julian page.
Oh
Yeah, they're
my God, what?
They're show your best diaper booty or something. And King
What?
Julian was wearing a diaper. Hold on, I can probably find the thing. I remember I sent this to Secret Narcissist a while back.
Oh my god.
Let's see.
It is messed up.
That's upsetting.
I know I'm interrupting. Oh yeah. Don't be so 5 minutes ago. Show us your own KJ style and post a picture of your best diaper pose using hashtag KJ Trends.
What?
And King Julian's wearing a cool diaper.
That's really
Yeah.
upsetting.
They even bothered to use the fonts and create graphics for it.
I like that when you showed Elias how the veins on his forehead popped out a little bit.
It made that sound when Doflamingo's veins pop out of his head. Alright, enough talking about Penguins of Madagascar. Crystal scanned the group with her cold eyes before simply using her left arm to take back the punching bag. When she walked over to the hook hanging from the ceiling and reconnected the chain to the punching bag, her attention then turned back to her cousin and the group with him.
Christian, I told you I don't like being bothered while I'm in here. I know, but you've been in here for a week. You need a break.
Christian snapped back, then realizing something.
Crystal? Where's your arm?
Crystal sighed.
It needed repairs again, so it's in Celeste's workshop.
She then turned away from everybody.
Now, if y'all don't mind...
Christian walked over and grabbed Crystal. No! Break time! Now!
Don't touch me!
Crystal growled at her eye, and her eyes changed colors instantly, glowing a bright orange. Her hair turned to fire and embers jumped from her fur. Christian moved his hand and poked his head out of the room.
Tex, come here for a sec.
Tex paused the game he was playing with Wally and gently pushed past the Jump City team to get into the room. He walked over to Crystal and put his hands on her shoulder. Hey, Chris, take a break, okay? For me? Crystal just glared at the gunslinger for a moment, then calmed herself and sighed as she rested her head on Tex's shoulders. What just happened? Beast Boy asked, looking a little confused. I'll explain later. Right now, let's go eat, Christian said, waving a hand as he lead everyone to the kitchen. Crystal seemed to lag behind, going down a hallway and disappeared into one of the rooms instead. She was lagging.
The Titans haven't really said much.
Very true. This has become very highly focused on this colorful group of OCs.
Starfire shook Celeste's hands without saying a word.
Titans are just bearing witness to this exhibit.
They're just existing so these Bandicoot hybrids can exist.
I hope Wally becomes the main character.
Wally hasn't said a word either. I can't wait to come up with a voice for him on the spot. Sorry for that. Crystal hasn't been herself lately. Tex apologized as everyone except for Crystal gathered around a table in the kitchen. There were pizza boxes and some odd-looking fruit on the table.
Lump of fruit.
Oh, lump of fruit and pizza. My favorite.
Should I try it?
What's the debate on Wampa fruit on pizza?
I try a Wampa fruit. Wampa fruit on pizza. I'll vouch for it.
Separate.
Separate but equal.
I like to think that the only food bandicoots can eat besides Wampa fruit is just pizza because they don't mind the taste even though it's bad for them.
They can only eat the combination of cheese, bread, and sauce.
It's like dangerously bad for them. Their fucking primitive intestines can barely ingest it. So if they eat it, they like fucking gain 30 pounds the next day.
That's why they're hybrids, so they could eat pizza.
Specifically the DNA strand that allows them to digest pizza better.
Of course. They got hit in the mutagen.
They're teenagers. They have to eat pizza.
And they got hit with... They were just normal bandicoots until they found the secret of the ooze.
Until they found the secret of eating pizza, even though it's bad for them.
They had to genetically modify themselves so they could continue their dangerous habits.
The secret of spitting in the face of nature.
Tex had to become a Texan. Wally had to become a bulletproof shield. Just so he could eat more pizza. Let's see. Christian looked up at Robin. Remember when our last video call got interrupted? Robin nodded. Christian continued. While we were out on call for some villains trying to break someone out of their local prison, Crystal and her twin brother were led away from us by some of the villains. The twins were ambushed. Crystal went unconscious. Her brother's been missing ever since. And I'm not going to stop looking for him either, Crystal said as she approached the table. You've been sleeping for 1 week and you've been training for another. You are doing nothing, Crystal.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
She stood next to Tex, who wrapped an arm around her waist.
Oh shit.
Damn, Tex.
Tex is gonna plow her later.
She hasn't showered in a week. Tex loves that.
He's gonna plow her like they plowed the fields. The football field-sized landfill they made.
He's gonna bring her really close so he can chew her out like a friggin' relative and go, "You listen here, you motherfucker. You have done nothing."
No, the fields are plowed by Christian because he has to do everything himself, which is why it took a month.
True.
I'm working on it.
He immediately got back with the couch, and before we could assemble it, they were like,
Hey, deforestation outside.
We need more room to play, Christian. Come on.
"Salt the earth, we don't want it coming back."
Giant bag of salt. We know, the gunslinger said as he rolled his eyes. I just wish you'd calm down a bit. Crystal rolled her eyes in response, picking up one of the strange-looking fruits that was on the table. Wally looked at her, concerned. Aren't you allergic to those?
The only thing bandicoots can eat.
I took my meds. I'll be fine.
Crystal snapped, getting in Wally's face and biting the fruit, which made purple juice spray all over the male.
Holy shit.
That's so rude. She just bit into a fruit so hard it splattered all over the man. This is the first time he's spoken ever since he got shot. The two glared at each other, and Crystal went to the elevator and took her downstairs. The two teams at the table were silent. Then Celeste stood.
She's headed to my workshop. I better go get her. The repairs on her arm are almost done anyway.
Celeste rushed to the elevator as it came back up. Then she went down to the workshop in the basement with Crystal.
Sorry for all this,
Christian sighed, looking at Robin. Robin just shrugged it off with a slight grin. Every team has their quirks. About 20 minutes later, the crime alarm started blaring through the tower.
The crime alarm.
Crime! Crime! Crime!
Christian is also the crime alarm.
Crime! Crime!
A minor misdemeanor occurs, and the crime alarm blares.
The lunk alarm blares.
The lunk
The
alarm.
Australian Titan Tower lunk alarm.
It's been blaring for the entire week Crystal's been training. Christian rushed to the large supercomputer as it showed what was going on. A dingo-crocodile hybrid with a flamethrower was holding a group of police officers captive in the prison yard. He was there at... What, they're back at the prison? He was being assisted by a large tiger that had two guards in SWAT gear pinned against a wall by their throats. Then there were 3 teenagers with him. A blue kangaroo was setting up explosives around the prison. A young yellow-skinned man was standing guard with a large ray gun, while a young woman was busy trying to hack into the prison security computer.
Not this again.
Christian groaned in annoyance. He then turned to everybody else, including Celeste and Crystal, who had joined them after Celeste had fixed the unattached Crystal's robotic arm.
All right, let's go.
And that's all they got. That's where the story ends.
Great story.
Just when we're about to meet Dr. Neo Cortex.
See, I would rate that a very lengthy trip back from IKEA out of 5.
I rate that 10 feet long extension cords.
I rate that 12-seater couches out of 12.
Excellent. I love the Bandicoot family that'll have the same color fur.
Let's see, commercial break. Use the bathroom.
Sounds
Of
good.
course you do. This Bang energy drink really dried up my throat.
I don't know.
It is full of aspartame and diuretics.
It's true. Don't support Bang. They don't taste very good.
I agree. I've been to many farmers markets as it coincides with my work, and I always see young, fit men, buff men, slamming, cracking, pounding, bang energy drinks at 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. I have seen those individuals drink more than one, and I just gotta say, wow. That's like the worst breakfast I could ever think of in my life. I can't believe you. Why would you do that? So don't be like them.
Don't be a lunk. Drink water.
Yeah. I bet if 2 equally strong men woke up in the morning, one drank 2 bangs and one drank 2 glasses of water, the glass of water man would freaking destroy the other man's skull with one finger.
It's true. He could shatter into 1,000 pieces.
He'd say bang, and the other guy would say, oh.
He'd say, I get it. That's hilarious.
The true bang is staying hydrated.
Now I see. I will redeem myself. Wah, 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 wah.
I'll go to bang.com and report their items as bad. Give them 1-star rating on Google.
Steven doesn't know what doing your mom is.
You didn't watch Equals 3?
Doing your mom, doing your mom.
I said that in front of him. He said, doing your mom? What does that mean? And I said, oh no, buddy.
Someone watch Ray William Johnson?
Guys, while he's not here, Blue Breed's been super... Don't show me that. I'm trying to say something. Sorry, audience, you're never gonna know what that is. It's too raw. It's too raw for TV. At Blue Breed with a bunch of Photoshop pictures of J Station. Make them into anything you want. Add him, it'll be so cool. Steven! Snowball! We didn't go to commercial. We made an anti-bang coalition.
An anti-bang.
What's the time at?
We're at an hour 8, and that'll probably be cut down, so we're probably about an hour.
Cool. I want to read the one I was talking about earlier and not the long one, because I've been wanting to read this forever.
I can't wait.
Hell yeah.
Okay. It begins.
That's it, Otto!
Cassidy yelled.
Not again! I'm leaving!
She turned on her heel and ran out of their shared bedroom. An 18-year-old Otto lay on his bed, with a cute redhead next to him.
Whoa.
Oh,
Cassidy
shit.
slashed around in the next room, next door.
Is it me?
Find out. Plucking out her CDs, her books, all the things that had culminated in their shared living room. In fairness, for 2 18-year-olds, their apartment wasn't that bad. 2-bedroom, living room, decent-sized bathroom and kitchen. Cassidy's ear pricked up when she heard screaming coming from the other bedroom. Meanwhile, Otto and the girl were still laid on the bed. The girl shot up.
You have a girlfriend? You said at the club you didn't have a girl. Ugh, you're disgusting.
She shrieked.
Ugh.
I don't want her though. I want you.
He said, feeding her the same.
I don't want her, though.
From under his curly dreads.
His long, curly dreads that he hasn't cut since he was a child.
Damn chicken finger hair.
I don't want her though. I want you.
He said, feeding her the same line he'd fed about 3 other girls. It didn't work for this one, though. She raised her arm and slapped him with all the force she could muster.
Oh, damn.
You're disgusting.
She said, pulling up her jeans and dashing out of the apartment. Cassidy was in Anna's room, lifting her out from her cot. Cassidy was in Anna's room. Who's in the cot?
Who's Anna? Who's Cassidy?
So Cassidy was the ex-girlfriend now.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know who Anna is. I'm looking for...
Yeah, they said there was only the 2 of them in this apartment.
The unnamed girl and Anna. Oh! I'll read the next page. Or the next paragraph. She shushed, rocking her side to side. She put her in her stroller, collecting her things in the baby bag, picked up her own bags and left.
Wait, where are you going? You can't just leave with my baby.
Otto asked, grabbing hold of Cassidy.
Get off of me. I'm going to my mom's house, and I will bloody well take the baby. Which one of us spent 9 hours in labor with her? Who stayed in and watched her whilst the other went out and got pissed with their stupid friends?
Me.
Me, Otto. Me.
No, me.
I got pissed, duh.
She said to her slightly inebriated boyfriend. He had indeed spent his evening in the Icon Club with his friends, having a few beers and chatting up the hot girls.
Even though he's 18.
He'd got better looking over the years. His hair had grown. His eyes became deeper. Does not sound better. I'll be honest.
His hair became dirtier.
His eyes became sunken and wrinkly.
Yuck.
The divide between his dreads and his brain got shorter.
He'd matured in so many ways. Then he got with Cassidy, and after that party, baby Anna was conceived. It fucked up his life. He wanted to go to college, get some kind of qualification, and make something of himself. Ray kicked him out of the house, so he had to find some kind of apartment big enough for his family.
Harsh.
So he felt he deserved to get wrecked sometimes. He needed a life of his own. He watched her walk away, pushing the buggy in front of her, lugging the bags behind into the elevator. Then she was gone. Otto slowly shuffled back into his flat. It was quiet. Too quiet. No baby screaming. No Cassidy screaming. He sat and stared at the blank TV before picking up his cell phone and hitting speed dial. "Hey, Twist, wanna come out tonight?" Come is spelled C-U-M. Otto said to his still best friend.
His still best friend.
"Sure," said Twister, who, being a few months younger than Otto, had just turned 18 and was eager to put his ID to use. Not that Otto hadn't snuck his drinks before, but that was a totally different story. I guess wherever this man lives who watches Rocket Power, 18 is the legal drinking age.
Canadian Rocket Power fans.
Yeah. Otto grabbed his leather jacket and headed out to Icon.
Leather?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Set to get wasted.
Again?
Oh
You just got wasted last night.
Right.
Notes. Gee, drunken obnoxious Otto is fun to write. Yes, I know, it's so short, but it's only the first chapter, and it's midnight, and I'm tired. Some more laters, and review, damn you. Just click the button down there, and review, R-E-V-I-E-W. Or wait, E-I-W.
Are there more chapters?
No.
Well, you should review them. We
Okay.
can give a live review. Welcome to Crossing the Line, a fair fiction podcast where we read, review, and critique fan fiction for your listening pleasure.
Hey, writer dude. This was a pretty slick chapter. But you know, Otto does deserve to get blasted once in a while.
Can you please describe Reggie as hot as she is now that she's at least 19?
And I'd like to see Otto.
Not literally, but figuratively.
Get, comma, with Reggie.
Sister.
Thanks. Praying hands emoji. Sent.
Has Squid found a new squid to replace him as Squid in this timeline yet?
I think Cassidy became Squid.
He kept calling her Squid even after their baby, so she got so mad that she left.
Can't believe Otto totally beefed his relationship.
She took the baby and the splash screen of "Oh man" showed up as she walks out the door.
It does a triple replay of her closing the door behind her.
Can I read a really short one?
Let's
Wait, you have to
do-
review the first one.
Oh, I rate it?
Yeah.
I rate that Tito, the Facebook page.
Yeah, I agree. Look up Tito, the Facebook page.
You will not be disappointed.
I rate that Otto's headband is in fact a Play-Doh spaghetti thing, and that's how he gets his dreads to look the way they are.
Out of 10.
Yeah.
I rate that story. How many discarded clothes are all over the apartment on the ground? Which are probably like 23. Alright, I've got another really short one. but that was pretty short also.
Lay it on me, brother.
It begins. Princess Peach got kidnapped once again, and Mario and Luigi were sick. Even Wario, Waluigi, and Toad were sick. So Mario called Kermit. "Hello," said Mario. "Hi, Mario. What do you want?" said Kermit.
Hey Mario, what do you want?
"Everyone in the Mushroom Kingdom is sick, and Princess Peach is kidnapped. Can you save her?" "Okay, bye," said Kermit. "Bye," said Mario. "Miss Piggy, I'm going to save the princess," said Kermit. "Good luck," said Miss Piggy. The first world was like the one on the Super Mario Bros. For the NES. Kermit started off on the first level. He was stomping on Goombas and Koopas. Kermit was small, so he ate the red mushroom. He didn't like the taste, but he knew that the mushrooms are good for him. After he finished 3 levels, he got to the first boss. It was a giant piranha plant. Mario would usually throw fireballs at it or something, but Kermit gave it his sandwich. The second world was a desert. Kermit was thirsty.
Kind of figured the third world would be a desert.
Kermit doesn't know which order to go in. Kermit was thirsty.
A joke about poverty.
Holy shit.
Oh no. Kermit was thirsty, but he was prepared for it because he was bought a couple water bottles. He went through lots of levels in the hot sun. Then it was time for the second boss. It was Pokey. Kermit told it a bedtime story and it fell asleep. Chapter 2. The third world was a snow world. It was so cold that Kermit wore 4 coats, 3 snow pants, and 5 mittens.
He is cold-blooded.
"When will I get to Bowser's castle?" said Kermit. The third boss was a Goomba made out of snow. Kermit didn't even do anything. The sun melted it. The fourth world was an underwater world. Kermit got his scuba gear on and dived in the water.
This is adorable.
The fourth boss was a blooper. Kermit showed him a picture of what he would look like in 20 years. The blooper...
How'd he get that?
What Felix the Cat magic bag of tricks did fucking Kermit bring with them in this trip?
He showed him a photo of him underwater.
The blooper saw it and then swam away. The fifth and final world was Bowser's castle. Kermit got through all the levels and went into the castle. "Who the heck are you?" said Bowser. "I'm Kermit the Frog," said Kermit. "Where's Mario?" said Bowser. "Mario is sick. So is everyone in the Mushroom Kingdom." "Darn," said Bowser. I really wanted to say damn, but it said darn.
No, this is too wholesome.
Kermit told some corny jokes and Bowser did nothing. He told bad poems and Bowser did nothing. When he made up a rumor about Bowser Jr., he fainted.
What was the rumor? So bad that he fainted?
I heard your son said the N-word at school the other day.
Hey, I got one more thing. What? I heard your son. No.
Don't say it, not my boy.
That's been really rough if this got out, Bowser.
I won't tell anyone. Move aside.
Hand over the princess and nobody gets hurt.
Nobody
Emotionally, of course.
Nobody gets canceled.
I will take this to Twitter if I have to, I will.
Kermit saved the princess and took the princess to the Mushroom Kingdom. "Thank you for saving me," said Mario.
What?
That's what it says. "No problem," said Kermit. Kermit walked home and they lived happily ever after. The end.
That was like the most wholesome thing we've ever read on this show.
It's true.
It's a good conclusion.
That's like the most Muppet way they could have possibly written it. He beat Bowser by making up a rumor about his fucking kid.
I want to animate
really
that.
bad.
Yeah.
I rate that 20 years in blooper years.
I rated that Bowser Jr. is over party on Twitter.
I rate that story, God. A very wholesome 8 out of 10.
Nice.
Well,
That was a good assortment.
yes, we had a lot of fun on this free-for-all episode of Crossing the Line.
I hope that one day this is viewable on a service besides YouTube.
We'll get there, we promise. We just have to find a way to do it.
May you all have a sick, nasty 2020.
2020 will be so cool. And I know we're gearing this towards this episode. I'm going to start the sentence over. I know this episode we've geared it towards a lot of new listener bias, but next episode is going to be the opposite. In fact, for our 50th episode spectacular, we wanted to treat ourselves, so we're each going to be finishing up stories we read in the past that we liked so much that we never got to finish.
Hopefully that encourages you to go through our back catalog a little bit, if you haven't already. I won't say it can be hit or miss, because I feel like we've always had a good laugh in every episode. But I will say that, sometimes there's some audio difficulties, and I think it's worth it if you can power through, because there's some really good content in there. And we're hoping to resolve that a little bit going forward.
Yes, we're really going to try to up our quality for this season, if quote unquote, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think regardless of the audio issues and stuff, like, I don't think there's been an episode where we haven't had like gut busters over dumb stuff in the stories we read.
Yeah.
Especially the holiday episodes. We gotta get those up too.
Yes.
I don't care about quality. I love those.
The holiday. For those who don't know, for all the holiday episodes we do, you'll be able to recognize them by their like specialized thumbnails. We always write our own stories for them, so they're always just like absurd humor from our own personal ways of writing. They're always, maybe they only make us laugh because we know how to make each other laugh, but
I feel like the more we read, the better we get at writing fan fiction, because we've got so much content under our belts.
it's true. Yeah, they're always a blast. What are some other favorite episodes you guys remember doing? Like, I'll go ahead and like put this one out there for obvious reasons. The episode we did with Sir Palo was incredibly fun. He's such a wacky caricature of a man. We read Etta and Nettie themed fan fiction with him, and it was very funny.
I do like when he did the impersonation of a baby hitting a wall. That was pretty good. And he had the friggin' sumo sound effect from Etta and Eddie on standby.
You sure he didn't just do that with his mouth?
No, he did that with a sound effect.
Oh.
He made the baby cry with his mouth.
He did record that in a painstakingly awful way, and it was horrible for me to edit, but it was still fun.
Oh, that's right. He had our voices on his audio track.
Yes, and now we just record our own audio with our guests. Basically, he had recorded our audio on top of his own, so I had to like painstakingly splice audio around so we could like get it all in one, as close to a like normal sounding story as we could. What about you, Elias? What's one you have fond memories for?
I have a couple, but I have like a bunch. The first one I'm going to name is the Yu-Gi-Oh one. There's one where Kaiba flies to France just to bully kids, and it's very funny.
That one's pretty good.
The Spyro the Dragon one, where Uncle Ben is recording in like from Ben 10 in like knee-deep water.
His name's not Uncle Ben.
It's Grandpa, whatever.
It's their Grandpa Max.
I'm sure Ben calls him Uncle Ben all the time.
He's Ben. Why would he call his uncle his no name?
He's full of himself.
And also the Death Note episode where it's L's chocolate factory, like Willy Wonka, but it's L, and he's just a psycho. It's very funny.
Yeah, that one also had a funny Kingdom Hearts story in it, I think. Oh yeah, because I got to put I think I put Buff Riku in the thumbnail.
Oh yeah, in our third episode with Kingdom Hearts, we had a pizza guy come to the door, and we tried to get him to read fan fiction, and it was funny.
It's true. We didn't ignore that audio spike. It's just the cat. He's about to turn the PlayStation 4 off. Anyway. Steven?
Oh, let's see here. I really like our first Halloween episode. Really, we've been doing good on the Halloween episodes for sure. Holidays in general, really. Let's See, there was also our JoJo episode. I just can't believe we struck hit gold with the friggin' Corey in the House fan fiction. I was not expecting that to be as golden as it turned out to be. Even later, when we read another chapter of it, it was pretty good. Let's see here. There was also. Oh God, what's another good one? Well, that's about it. I liked the 4th of July one a lot too.
I like that SummerSlam one we did there. Was that your story?
Yeah, I think so.
The story's really good.
When we just like the 4th of July one, or like we also
no,
wrote
that was
ones
the
just for
beach
like
episode.
a beach episode.
Right, the beach episode.
Yeah, you wrote like was that the Joey's World
Oh my
Tour
God.
one?
When Joey got waterboarded with lemonade for like 58 minutes.
Oh yeah, and I wrote a very cool all grown up story.
My One Piece fruit joke, and that is the funniest thing I've ever wrote.
The fucking my gym partner.
Don't spoil it.
Okay.
But yes, we're all very proud of the ones we write, but in general we enjoy doing this show regardless of our topics or whatever we do per episode. Again, we know it's a little bit of a pain to listen to a podcast on YouTube of all places. We do definitely want to get onto more platforms, more like podcast friendly platforms. But until then, please just keep supporting us there and commenting on there, commenting on Twitter, whatever you want to do. We always try to be like as responsive as we can on that stuff. So whatever you guys want to say to us, ask us questions, anything like that, we're always there trying to listen in and see what we can do for y'all. We do have more stuff we want to do. I do want to try to get out some more shorter form content and maybe make actual use of the YouTube platform, such as art shows and other things, animations, lots of different things when life doesn't get in the way.
Indeed.
Blue Breed, we're going to do an art show for real, right?
We are.
Thank you. It'll be cool.
Whatever Amazon decides my desk deserves to be with me.
Your 150-pound Amazon package.
Yeah.
It weighs.
I'm gonna need your help with that tomorrow, because holy shit.
Your Death Stranding Amazon package being delivered on the back of some man's shoulders.
It's an embryo desk.
It's being carried in by Christian, the Fox Bandicoot hybrid.
You're gonna throw it through your front door so hard that it breaks the frames off the door.
It breaks the desk, so I have to buy another one.
That would probably break the door sooner than it breaks the desk.
True.
And he sees you're not home, so he takes it out and puts a note in the door that says, "Sorry you weren't there, we missed you." Takes it back all the way to Atlanta.
Jesus Christ.
Before we go, I do want to say something that reminded me of something. This is completely unrelated from anything at all, but while I was at work the other day, the Amazon delivery boy walked up into my store to bring a package that we had ordered, and he got very lippy with me, saying like, "You guys have to answer your phone. You need to answer your phone, or else we will skip you. I have a lot of things to do today, and I cannot just go around and I'll skip your package. I'll take it back if you don't answer your phone." And first of all, I answered every phone call I got that day, and we never got one from them. So fuck that guy. Secondly, why does a delivery company call you ahead of time? I've never heard of a company ever do that ever. If you're not there, they just leave the package outside to be stolen.
Yeah, they shouldn't even have your personal number, or your
Right?
phone number, or whatever.
Yeah, the only time that hasn't happened is I did a Ryoko Matoi cosplay forever ago during one of our con trips, and I ordered a scissor blade off online, and I wasn't home to sign for the package, and the guy called me on my cell phone and was like, "You gotta be here to sign," and then he came the next day.
And they just hung up on you and you didn't know what that was for? Like, wait, what was that?
No, I
Oh.
knew.
You just answer the phone and say, "You gotta be here to sign." Click. Yeah, no, it's so weird because with a lot of stuff UPS, or I don't know in general, but a lot of places at least at my house when packages get delivered, if no one's there, they just leave it outside, or if it's a skinny thing, they'll at the very least slide it in between the screen door and the the actual door so people won't see it, but we've never had an issue where someone's like, just earlier this week when your cups came in the mail, like
Right.
it was like 10 in the morning, and I was going out the front door and I saw the thing, and the guy was leaving, like he had a normal car for one thing, so that was weird, but he's just like, oh, UBS. I was like, okay.
Oh my lord.
But
That
yeah.
was weird.
Yeah, no, anyway, sorry I went on that tangent about deliveries. I just got really annoyed by how that man was like mouthing off to me about getting a delivery. He's like, I have many things to do on my route, so you have to answer the call or we will just skip you. We'll take it back.
Say, okay, fine, keep my package. You
I
can
did.
store it, whatever.
I did. It was Baby Yoda stickers. I don't fucking care. They're selling like hotcakes, I tell you what.
He opens up that friggin' box and he starts putting Yoda stickers all over himself. He's like, see, I'll do this every time.
He's funny, reads the package. Baby Yoda stickers belong to me now.
He's not even really called Baby Yoda, the creator says.
It was like one of those bubble envelopes. It was like 1 foot by 2 feet, and all the stickers are like at most 2 inches in size, and they were in this massive envelope. The whole process was very annoying.
Did you get any like other stickers besides that?
No, my boss only ordered Baby Yoda because that's what's hot right now.
Crap. Okay.
Nice, profit.
That's true. Okay. Any last words from anybody here on the cast?
No.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
All right.